Hi, fifth grade. Yesterday you guys learned about a couple more things. You learned about capillaries and how capillaries are those thinnest walled sections and the U-turn spots for blood to go from the arteries into the veins. You remember what the smaller parts of the arteries were called that led to the capillaries? That's right, those are the arterioles, and then you had the capillaries themselves, and then you had the smallest of the veins that connected the capillaries to the veins. Those were called what? That's right, venules, and those are really small, and that was a spot where they turned back into our veins. And at the capillaries, that's where oxygen would get off and go to all the cells, and then the carbon dioxide would come back into those blood cells, and then the blood cells would bring it back up to the lungs so that you could what? Exhale and get rid of that carbon dioxide, and then inhale and get more oxygen. And then we had our veins. Veins weren't pushed with muscle. Remember, they didn't have those strong muscular walls. Instead, what did they have inside of them to make sure that the blood didn't flow backwards? Same thing that we have in the heart. That's right, valves, okay? And the valves made sure that the blood kept going in one direction and not flowing backwards. In fact, if you've ever heard of the term varicose veins or spider veins, sometimes you'll see it in older people or maybe your moms, but don't tell them. Sometimes you get them in like your legs, and they look like it's basically where the valve in that part of the vein has stopped working and blood is able to flow backwards. Sometimes it can be painful, and sometimes they just look like this bruise that's a line, and sometimes it looks like it's puffy and sticking out, but that is an indication that the valve is broken or not working properly. And then we had our biggest artery, again, is what? Starts with an A. That's right, the aorta. And then we had the biggest vein. We had two parts of it, one that brought blood from the top part of the body to your heart, and one that brought blood from the bottom half of your body to your heart. Remember what the top one was called? That's right, that was the superior what? Vena cava. And then the bottom one was called the inferior vena cava. Today's lesson is going to be a little bit shorter because we're just going to be learning about a guy called William Harvey. And then once you learn about him, there's going to be a PDF that you can download and print off, or if you just want to look at the questions and write down the answers. This is going to be your 100-point assignment for the week. Every week we have to give you 100.1, and the other ones are just 10 points. It's going to be your study guide, and this study guide we'll use to do another quick quiz on Monday, just like a 10 question quiz like we always do in class and what we've done before. So that'll be your study guide. Now we'll email you back any answers that you get correct. That way you can fix it and have the right answers to look over when you're taking your quiz. All right, so let's look at William Harvey. All right, so people have not always understood how the circulatory system works. Some thought, now get this, some thought that air, not blood, is what flowed through arteries and veins. Now this was obviously a long time ago when they didn't have medical technology to show, hey, guess what? There's blood and other things flowing through your body. So later people thought that arteries came out of the heart and veins came out of the liver. Well, we know that arteries and veins all come out of the heart and they go through all parts of your body. Does your liver have veins and arteries? It sure does, but it doesn't your veins and arteries don't originate in the liver. So, isn't that pretty crazy? Doesn't even make any sense. And this didn't make sense either. Some people back then also believed that food was changed into blood by the liver, and that the blood was consumed by the body, and that's what gave us our nutrition. That is crazy, right? There were some crazy beliefs back then because people didn't know. They didn't have the opportunity to look inside the body the way that we can now. We are learning so much every single day with new medical technology and medical advancements that who knows what 10 years from now, man, who knows what you guys are going to be discovering and what you guys are going to be leading the medical field in. Some of you, man, I see you solving all these medical mysteries, and I'm going to be so proud of you one day when I see you guys doing good things for this world. All right, so most people in the 1500s and 1600s thought that the lungs move blood through the body. Now, do the lungs move blood through the body? No, they don't. What do they give to the body, though? That's right. They give oxygen to the body and they get rid of carbon dioxide. What moves blood through the body? That's right, our heart does. So, William Harvey, he was this English-born doctor, and he was born in 1578, and he was the first to understand how the circulatory system really worked. And how did he do that? Well, he couldn't just open up someone's body and see how it was working. Some people wanted to. They wanted to take a live person and just open them up and see what's going on. But what would happen if we did that? Yeah, you'd most likely kill them if you didn't have the right technology. So what he did is he dissected animals and studied people instead. He knew that the theories of his day were wrong. He was a smart one. And he discovered that the arteries, veins, heart, and lungs, that they were all part of this one big circulatory system. So in 1628, Dr. Harvey published a book that was based on his research. He spent years researching it, and he put all his data together, just like you're learning in math, all his data together, and came up with this medical journal. And he was the first to say that the heart is a pump that moves blood through the body. And he explained how the blood is circulated through the body, and then it returns back to the heart, right? How does it leave the heart again? That's right, arteries, and it comes back through what? Veins. Very good. His book had many critics at first where people didn't like it. People would say he was crazy. But as technology improved, Harvey's ideas were actually shown to be true. And his ideas became the basis for all modern research on the heart and blood vessels. Isn't that pretty cool that his research is what basically kick-started what we have now? He probably has no idea what his research meant to modern day medicine. All right, let's look at our quick check really fast. This is just for you to do in your head. Let's see how you do. I want to see, I want to hear what score you get. Just shout it out loud when you're done. Which blood vessels carry blood away from the heart? What do you think? It is the arteries. Very good. Who said arteries? Raise your hand. Very good. Good job, Elijah. Number 2, which blood vessels carry blood towards the heart? What do you think, Kira? That is right. It is veins. All right. Number 3, what keeps blood from flowing backwards into the vessels and in the heart? What were those things that start with a V as well? We have them in veins and we have them in our heart. What do you think, Sean? That's right. It is valves. All right. So go ahead and click on the PDF now. Complete that study guide and either just email your answers to me in an email. You can take a picture of what you wrote down. You can print it off and send it to me as well. But I look forward to seeing your answers. And once again, guys, I love you and I miss you, and I will see you on Monday. Goodbye. It's not working.